Hey, I'm Haley.
And I'm Jesse.
And you're listening to
Personality Hire, the podcast where I just learned what mutton bustin' is, and I got to tell you all about it.
That's a dirty word.
No.
It sounds dirty.
I got something to tell you. I have tea to spill for no one but myself because I think everyone else knows what this is.
I'll get the paper towels. Go.
But I got something for you. Are you ready?
Yeah.
So, if you're from Texas, specifically Houston, and you are a big rodeo person, this will be not one surprise is coming for you right now. However, I know about the Houston rodeo. I know it's so popular. I know that people, it's a big deal, but I haven't known about the ins and outs of it until now.
Yeah.
I have a very good pal who lives in Dallas. Her family's from Houston. She was going to the rodeo this past weekend. It's multiple weeks, baby. It's multiple weeks. It is a shebang. And also people, you go, there are like boxes you can rent. People are in their cowboy best.
Have you ever gone to a rodeo?
I mean, yeah. Okay. Yeah, I want to say yes, but
it was like a small town coming into town rodeo.
Exactly.
Okay.
It's just, I don't think it
you
compares.
didn't go to like an establishment that is meant like an arena for rodeos.
No, like I think that I went to a traveling situation like you're describing. Yeah. And when they came, it was mostly like rope and stuff.
Yeah, it was more tricks.
And it was no like
serious wrangling.
Right. And these people, I don't think the people that were in the rodeo that I went to were like probably real ranch folk. You know what I'm saying?
Right. They're carnies of the rodeo.
Precisely. Mm-hmm.
That is, I mean that in not a derogatory sense.
They're like the circus performers of the rodeo scene.
Yes.
Right.
I mean traveling soldiers, if you will, of the carnivals.
No, we mean carnies. That's exactly what we mean.
That's what I mean.
But we don't mean that in any other way than like if that is your passion, if that's your life's calling to travel with a carnival and put up a rickety cricket Ferris wheel every few towns, so be it.
Yeah.
Like, who am I to stop you?
I'm a freaking actor. Don't look at me.
Maybe they're also you know what? They're also acting.
We're all actors if you think about it.
The real actors are the goldfish you can get at the Carney games. Anyway, I digress.
Yes.
I digress. My pal, I'm going to give her a code name and her daughter a code name for this story because I would do the same. My pal, we're going to call her Gwendolyn. And my pal Gwendolyn lives in Dallas currently, is from Houston. She went to the rodeo. Her family has like a box at the rodeo. They are big rodeo people. They have a legit ranch.
They are so much fun.
True Houston rodeo folks. There is something called Mutton Bustin' where children up till the age of, I think between 4 and 7, you have to be 55 pounds or lighter. They have to hop on top of a sheep.
Yes, I actually remember what this is now.
Grab it with all of their appendages, and whoever can ride it the longest and the farthest wins the mutton busting competition.
Yeah, sorry if you get stepped on.
Well,
Ciao.
I mean, they have protective gear on. I've seen the video. I've seen the footage. They've got helmets. They have protective gear.
Would you let Scooby do it?
Hell yeah.
You would?
Hell yeah. I think she'd be good at it.
I actually think she would find a talent.
The reason being is for the same reason why my friend Gwendolyn's daughter was good at it. So let me tell you, they got long arms, they're tall, they're thin, and they have lankiness to them.
They can, and
exactly.
Listen, one thing about Scooby is if she wants something, she'll get it. And I mean this like even at the playground, like if she wants to pull up, she will pull up. It doesn't matter if she knew she had that strength or not. So I believe she could wrap herself like a koala bear around.
She's going to get hurt doing it though. I mean, that's
why I was like, would you let her do it?
I'm going to let her do it.
I know she'd be good at it.
She's going to get hurt. Like, for instance, this past weekend,
you're going to get thrown.
Another digression. She hopped on a firefighter pole at this playground we were out. And I mean, she didn't realize you have to kind of use your upper body strength to also slide down. She flew into it and hit her pelvis bone. She hit her. What is the bone right above your
pelvic?
Like your pelvic bone, hip. Like your. No, it's called your pubic bone, actually. That's what it is. She hit it so hard on that fucking firefighter
pubic
pole.
Bone.
It was, she said, ah! It was not good. But to your point, she's going to try it, but she's going to get hurt. I digress. Back to the mutton bustin'. So my friend Gwendolyn registered her daughter
To mutt bust.
to bust a mutt. She did. Because this is part of their culture. This is part of their culture.
Yeah.
And I am very close with Gwendolyn. And her daughter's name is Pookie. Gwendolyn, when Gwendolyn told me that Pookie was going to mutton bust, I said, A, what is it? And then B, she was like, my thoughts went from what is it to how are you going to practice? Because they live in Dallas, in like a suburb of Dallas where they're not near the ranch. And so the best part of this.
She said, we got a German Shepherd, honey.
No, let me tell you what they did. And first of all, I also want to say I got permission to tell this story. I got permission. She said, and I quote, make us famous. And you know what, Gwendolyn, that's what I'm doing. Pookie, we're here for you.
Yeah.
So she and her husband put on their big North Face puffer jackets, and they would rope and ride around the living room and have Pookie wrap her lankiness around them,
and they would go off.
Yes, and they would try to buck her off, but the sheep are poofy because they're they don't shear them for this. I obviously they don't, why would they shear them?
No.
Well,
because they would look freaky.
Right?
They gotta look cute. Kids aren't gonna go up to a freaky naked sheep. A bald sheep.
So they're in their living room practicing. I saw video and everything was excellent. They took it very seriously. Gwendolyn's husband in this thing was basically like, get on, Pookie, we're going for a ride. Pookie was taking it seriously. They were doing it. So they went to the Houston rodeo last weekend. It's multiple weeks, but they went last weekend.
Did she mutt bust last weekend?
Pookie mutt busted last weekend. She won. Pookie won.
Roll, Pookie, roll.
And she'd never even gotten on a sheep before. But can you believe that? First of all, mutton busting is wild and crazy. That's wild and crazy.
That's a wild and crazy thing to do. And also, she won.
And then she got a belt buckle, like a real rodeo champ. Yeah. And they asked her what she was going to do with it. What are you going to do with the belt buckle? And you know what that icon Pookie said? I think I'm going to work it. She's going to work it. And she is. And she has been.
You should have named her Smoochie. So we can be like, work it, Smoochie. Work it, Smoochie.
And then Pookie gets to go back to the season finale of the rodeo and compete against all the other
the championship.
Winners.
Not the season finale. This week on Houston Rodeo.
Anyway, I'm so proud of her. I'm so proud of Pooks. She mutton busted to the fullest of her little bustin' heart. She won, and now she gets to go back and compete in the overall Pookie Championship.
Work it, Smoochie.
I'm so proud of her. And my friend Gwendolyn, I'm just like, I'm happy for the whole family. It's not only is it so...
It's an honor.
It's an honor and a privilege.
That's something you're going to be saying for the rest of your life.
The rest of her life.
Yeah.
Mutton Bustin' Champ 2025 Houston Rodeo. Pookie Leroy. That she's going to win. Mark my words. She's going to win the whole shebang. So anyway.
And she's going to get an even bigger belt buckle. You know what she's going to do with that? Work it. And she's probably going to put it on chain. That's her attitude. That's her energy. She's like, I'll put it on chain and wear it every day. So what?
I'm so happy for them. It's so good. Everything about it. I cannot stop thinking about it. I cannot stop thinking about mutton busting. And I also want to say that I understand there's a weight limit. But I know we talked about this. Haley and I are both in calorie deficits currently. So who knows where I'll be next year.
Yeah, who knows? We could be butting
I could be busting a mutt next year.
Busting a mutt.
I just think too, it brought me back to a time where I don't know if you've ever done this, but have you ever gotten on a mechanical bull?
No. And here's why.
You did have to think about it, though.
Yeah, well, because I've seen them and I've been around them so many times. But I was like wondering, have I ever actually gotten on one? And I haven't, because I was a good little sorority girl. And they said, don't do it. They said, you're not allowed. But I remember I was chosen when I interned at KSDK St. Louis. 5-1. Channel 5 is number 1. That's what they do. I got to judge a mechanical
Bustin? Oh.
no, a mechanical bull riding contest at PBR in St. Louis. It was not affiliated with the internship. They just knew we were interns at News Channel 5, and me and this girl who was also an intern. I don't know if someone told them. Anyway, they had us do it, and I just kept writing Luke Bryan like on the sign. I was
Instead of like 10 out of 10, you just be like, you get a
I'd
Luke
give him
Bryan.
a score, and then I'd like, yeah, and then I'd give him a Luke Bryan.
Question.
They played a lot of Luke Bryan there.
Was it co-ed competition?
Yeah.
Interesting. And then
Girls were better.
Oh, okay. That's my question was
Yeah,
going to be. Okay. Because,
Yeah.
you know, we work at Smoochie.
We'll do anything for the
We'll do
gram.
anything. Honestly, I don't think I've
Have
ever
you?
been on one. I don't think so. My husband has been on one before, and his Bing Bong friends. I have the video of it. I'll keep that
Forever.
till the day I die.
Yeah.
Sometimes I like to send it to the group chat with his friend just to remind them that I have it.
Yeah.
It's from over 10 years ago. And I still
Keep
sometimes
your head on the swivel,
Exactly.
boys.
I like to do that from time to time, especially with friends that I care about. I like to send them little nuggets and little messages and say, "Hey, did you remember that I still have this about you?" It goes both ways.
You do that to me.
I do, absolutely.
Yeah.
And it goes both ways. I get the same in return.
Yeah.
I'm not saying I'm,
I will randomly send you the drumstick picture.
I have lots of incriminating footage on Haley's phone.
Yeah.
But sometimes
But it's like
just
fun.
It's just good though to keep your friends just a little bit scared, you know.
Well, also just to remind them, like,
I know the real you.
we know each other.
Yeah. I know who you are. I know where you've been.
I know where you're going.
I know where you're going, and I'm also going to be there with my phone.
And I'm also
in your
here right
face.
now.
Yeah.
So look around.
And we're going to roll that beautiful bean footage at all times because I'm not going to miss one moment of what weird stuff you do. Anyway, I just wanted to start off the top with some mutton busting talk, and I'm glad
think
we
that's
did.
so funny. I love that story. And I can't believe I didn't do it as a child.
I think it's really normal for children to have like this big interest in like cowboys and
And I mean, we've talked about the rocking horse thing or the springing horse
yeah.
where you get your little leg hairs caught in the springs.
Yeah.
But there was a time when I was little, and my aunt, I have family in Texas. I have a lot of family in Texas, and we would go down to the Fort Worth, like the stockyards. So they had a rodeo as well. But we'd go to the stockyards, and I thought I was going to be a cowgirl at one point. I mean, we know I have an affinity for cowboy boots, and I got the hats.
We got a friend of the pod, Kat Kelly.
Yep. We're just going to I think this is now a country western pod.
I wish that I
Is this a
wish that I
ranching
would
pod?
have reached out to Catherine and asked if she have any thoughts on mutton bustin'. I wonder if she saw any of that during her time on Yellowstone.
I wonder if they busted a mutt on Yellowstone. I know they. Yeah.
You know what I think we should do? Not now, but I think we should FaceTime screen record her and ask her if she's
ever busted a mutt.
If she's ever busted a mutt.
Or if she's ever seen someone bust a mutt in public.
Do you think that those sheep are really angry that those kids are on them?
I don't think it's a good thing, probably. If this is not... If you are working for PETA, involved with PETA, do not call us right now.
Sometimes, you know what? And sometimes, though, just let me have one thing.
Yeah.
Let me have one thing.
Also, just for... I don't know.
Let me have it.
Yeah,
I'm
I don't
sorry. Come for me.
I thought I was going to say
have
something.
Bustin'.
Yeah. I have nothing to say about that.
One time when I was riding a horse.
Okay.
Let me tell you this.
Exciting.
I was a Girl Scout when I was younger.
Yeah.
And my mom would come on all my Girl Scout trips with me. And we were on a camping trip once, and we were at a place where they let you do horseback riding lessons, but really it was like these ponies that were they were very well taken care of, and they would literally just like follow each other around these beautiful trails with children riding on their backs, it was, whatever. But I will never forget, my mom was riding behind me, and I just heard her kind of softly try to tell the trail leader up front, we're all in a line, so she's behind me going, I'm falling. I'm falling. I'm falling. And I turn back. I'm probably 9, 10 years old max at this point. I turn around. Also, that's kind of old to be in Girl Scouts, so I don't want to hear anything about that either. I was a junior. I believe I was a junior at that point. I was past
in
brownie.
high school?
No, it goes like
that's maybe too old.
It goes like brownie, junior, then cadet or something. Anywho, I turn around. My mom's saddle is sideways on the horse, and that bitch about to fall. Sure enough, she's about to fall off her horse.
No.
I'm
falling.
At which point she
I'm
falls.
falling.
She falls onto the ground. Her heels, her feet are still in the saddle. But her head, neck, shoulders, everything else.
Is she getting dragged?
Is on the... No, because the pony's so well-natured that he just stops because he's like, this ain't right.
Yeah, he said, I feel something.
But at what point... At that point, there's a thud on the ground. Half her body falling. My Black Beauty flips out. He goes up into the air, stallion style, 2 feet kicking.
Did you fall?
I held on to that mane like I knew what I was doing.
You said.
And I said... And I was terrified.
Yeah.
And then I got off because I was crying naturally.
Yeah.
And my mom looked at me and she said, get back on that horse. We got to get out of this trail. And I did. I had to hop back on.
Good for you.
But I held on. I tried to Black Beauty it, like, you know, like stallion style.
Yeah. I've had that happen on a horse before, horseback riding, where a car came by really fast and like we were taking a different route. This is when we went to Bass River Resort in Missouri. I don't even know what town in Missouri, but it was the kind of place in Missouri where people ain't got teeth.
Do they call it Missouri?
You know what? Some people do, and that really hurts my my soul.
Your whole.
My whole life.
It hurts her whole.
I meant to say soul.
No, you didn't. We knew what you meant, girl. We're talking about mutton busting. We know what you meant. We're talking about horse riding. We know what you meant.
No.
Sorry.
Okay. Anyway,
but you were in Missouri and you were horseback riding.
But the car came by too fast, so my horse did a little jump off the like concrete into the ditch.
Oh.
And so that was a shock. And I was like, but they told me not to scream. Like they were like, don't yell on the horse. So I was like, like I just did that. And I was like, tears.
Because you were scared, girl.
I was scared.
What was your horse's name?
Banjo. And then we went back. I think we went back 3 years. And every time I would ride Banjo. I loved Banjo. That's
nice.
Yeah.
I don't think I've been on a horse since that time. Have you been on a horse since then?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
I actually like seek out horseback riding.
Hello? I didn't know this about you. You're a horse girl? I didn't know that you were a real horse
I have like
girl.
horses around.
As she looks around her house.
I'm like, where are the horses? I used to have a horse right here.
What if you whistled and a horse came out of your bedroom?
Hello.
Like a little mini horse. She's like, I've got a mini horse. It's in my bedroom.
Oh my gosh, I wish. No, when I went to Blue Ridge like 2 years ago now, do you remember? And do you remember a certain someone Venmo'd me for horseback riding?
I remember.
Yeah.
I remember.
That was the last time.
You went horseback riding. That's nice though.
Gotta go back again.
I don't really have any desire to ride a horse, mostly because I think if I had to really find out why in my psyche, I think I'm afraid
of horseback riding.
I think maybe, yeah. They're so big.
They're huge.
And they're not, I know that
they make me feel safe. They're so big though.
I think that's probably a lot of people,
they're so smart. Like, I'm just like,
there's equine therapy. I know that horses are like magical, amazing creatures.
Yeah.
But maybe that's what freaks me out about them is that sometimes when I look at them,
too real.
Their eyes
know
are
things about you.
Right.
They do.
Same thing with elephants.
Yeah.
Elephants and horses have that same vibe. Like they look at you and they're like, I see you for who you are.
Yeah. Like I know what's up.
And I said, stop looking so hard.
You don't need to know all that.
Or I'm going to mutton bust you.
You know where I'm going? You know where I've been? You got videos of me in your phone, horse?
You don't, please.
I mean, it's okay if they do.
Yeah, I've never...
Their hooves can't really...
I just don't really have a lot of like farm experience. I just don't. You know, I've never milked... But
you know what I mean? Like, you don't live on a farm.
But what if I... But what if I wanted you... Yeah, I'm offended.
No, I didn't mean that offensively.
You don't think I wouldn't get my hands dirty? You don't think I've tried to milk something before?
I haven't.
Me neither. I've never tried to milk a thing.
I don't want to do that, by the way. If I lived on a farm, like in another universe, a dream would be to be incredibly well off to where I didn't need to farm for my life and it wasn't stressful. And then I lived on a farm. But again, I had enough money where if I needed to get on a plane to go somewhere, I could go somewhere.
But you'd have to get a farm sitter.
Well, here's the deal with the farm. Either I have enough money to have a farm sitter, or two, it's not that serious.
Right. You're playing.
I want to be like a rich person with a ranch, you know?
Is there a farm video game? 'Cause that's what you're playing.
Yeah.
Webkins?
There's, I know people are yelling at their phones right now.
It's fine. I'll look
There's
it up later
definitely
on.
farm games.
My mother-in-law lives on a beautiful piece of property near Charleston, South Carolina, and she has chickens, a lot of chickens, and they be chickening. I mean, it's crazy. She has true farm life animals. They lay so many eggs. They come out absolutely disgusting, and that's the circle of life.
Yeah. No, Kat, our friend Kat Kelly has 3 chickens.
Yeah.
Or 2. 2 peaches and cream.
Yeah, my mother-in-law has lots of chickens, and that's that. They're out there, they're clucking around, they're well taken care of.
Yeah.
And they have many eggs, and it freaks me out. It freaks me out.
The act of laying an egg freaks me out.
Oh my God. Oh,
we don't have to talk about it on the pod though.
The act of laying an egg. Does it hurt them? It has to not be comfortable.
You know what? It's a childbirth thing. I don't know. Maybe they forget it. I don't know.
Oh Lord.
I don't know. I've never spoken to a chicken.
Well,
Also, like, I feel like they don't protest.
they don't have a choice. It's like when we have our period, we don't have a choice. I can protest it all I want, but it's still coming.
I'm sure it's not fun then.
And it comes out hard. Like they make a shell.
Yuck.
I want them to stop doing that. I want them to stop.
We went from it's fine, let the sheep be mutton, their bust, to we no longer stand for chickens having to lay eggs.
Stop having
Give
to
them
lay
a
eggs.
choice.
Yeah, literally.
Are they silent or were they silenced? Exactly.
So anyway,
I have to clear my throat.
Be my guest. Here she goes. She's mutton busting and coughing.
I'm
She's
so
back.
sorry. I was trying so hard to get through without that, and then I was like, "This is it's going down."
What's the biggest animal you've ever pet?
Maybe like a camel. Have I pet a giraffe? Have I pet a elephant? I feel like I haven't.
I've pet a giraffe, and that's probably when I was a child. There is a place in Arkansas that was like a wild safari type vibe, and
Which those I don't think
I don't
should
understand.
be illegal.
What are we doing?
Are legal.
Why do you have an animal that's intended to be in the plains of
Arkansas
of Africa? Yeah,
there's one near Atlanta, and I've had friends
think it's in
go, and I'm like,
Valdosta.
yeah, and I'm like, guys, I don't know if I'd go and support that business.
There was a big giraffe, and I went when I was a child, and I do remember petting it. But I'm not like much of a.
I pet mine at the zoo, which again,
why are you there?
Yeah,
I'm not much of a let me reach out and touch you animal type person. I'm not. If you're not a dog or a cat, I'm certainly not interested in petting any reptiles. And that seems to be the only thing that's on the children's petting zoo market nowadays. I'm not interested in that. And I just am not that kind of, I think that all animals deserve good and kindness and a decent living experience on this earth, but I don't really want to touch them, you know?
Yeah. I mean, I totally agree. There's not many, I mean, the one animal that I think of consistently that I really want to touch, but I know I shouldn't touch, is a bear. Their little heads but they're huge heads. But their heads, the way they shaped is so cute. You know, there's that meme, if not friend, why friend shape? And it is shaped like a friend. Their little backs that are huge with their little booty and their little tail. Like, they're so cute. It's because they remind me of dogs. Every time I see a bear, I'm like, that's mama dog. Like, I think of my German Shepherd.
They are very cute, and they are mean as hell.
Yes. So I don't actually want to touch one.
But
koalas, have you ever? I'm not koalas. I'm sorry. Those are cute too.
They got gonorrhea. Or chlamydia. One of them. They're in the entire species is infested with STIs.
Oh my gosh.
It's a well-known fact. Look it up.
I'm not judging them, by the way, by saying,
I am.
Oh my gosh.
What are y'all doing? Absolutely. What are y'all doing? Stop it.
What's happening?
Get behind the chickens. They're going to stop laying eggs, and you need to stop doing whatever you're doing, koalas, to get down with the sickness. I'm tired of it. I'm tired of it. Can you imagine if this is the first episode anybody ever listened to of this podcast?
It might be.
Welcome. Welcome in.
Hey, we're just talking about koalas having STIs. Well, I was going to say panda bears. I recently got fed on my algorithm pandas pandaing. And so they just show pandas being so goofy. Like they're like sitting in chairs, like with their legs crisscross applesauce, eating like a bok choy or something, or them falling out of a rocking horse, like just really funny, or them like tripping and falling. And they're just this huge, like bing, bing, boing, boing, boing. And they look like they're just toddlers. Like they look like drunk toddlers. And it's so, it makes them so cute with their little black eyes, but you just know they would rip you to shreds.
Yes. Oh yeah.
So I'm like, you're confusing because I want to snuggle up, but I know you would tear me up. So I'm not going to do that. But that is one animal I would like to touch, but I will not.
Good thinking. Good choice
Also,
and good thinking.
I am weary about when I do come up to horses because I'm like, you could fudge me up with
you
those
could kick me.
hooves.
You could kick me, and I would have.
Do not walk behind a horse. That's all I know.
I just know when I was in high school,
I let them come to me.
I took a zoology class.
Okay.
And it was really all I ever needed to know about any animal, especially because oh God, Haley.
You learned too much.
Let me tell you two things. Number one, I had to dissect an owl pellet, which I
did too. He's stinky.
You go through the pellet and it's just, you're finding an entire skeleton of a rodent in it is what you're doing because they regurgitate it.
No, I literally know what a mouse skull looks like because of an owl pellet.
And then second, this zoology class, in order to take it, I had to purchase a bucket. I'm talking a painter's style bucket full of formaldehyde. Inside were 4 to 5 different carcasses of animals that were sitting in science juice. And during the classes, I would have to take out whatever we were dissecting that day. I'm not going to say what they were.
These buckets? In the school?
Along the wall.
Okay.
Along the wall of the classroom.
So there was never a prank where someone just dumped them?
God, no.
Okay. Good.
No, but we'd have to pull out
don't have faith in
these animals
students.
And put them on these trays, pin them out so they wouldn't
the
move.
Pinning, I remember doing that to the frog, and I remember like a single tear because I was like, "This is so rude."
It was all of it was just wild. All of it was wild. I don't even want to say half the things we dissected because I don't even know if it's kosher to do that now. I mean, and whatever. But I was like scalpel. Pins, you had a partner and then you guys were like,
oh yeah, I wonder if they still do that.
I wonder if they
do it like electronically on an iPad.
Right.
Like I'm like zooming
honestly
in.
And good because you don't
we don't need to. The smell was enough.
It's too
much. But also there are things I'm not saying about dissecting. Like I'm not promoting that. But I am saying sometimes I think like technology takes away from learning about the actual thing. Like we would not know that this stuff is stinky. Like you would just assume if it's passed on and it's cleaned that it's not going to smell so stinky. No, the whole school's going to smell.
Yeah.
That week.
And it was not something that I will never forget the scent. It is burned into my brain.
I know. I'm like, I smell it right now.
It smelled like what I imagine a CSI crime unit to smell like. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. No, it's kind of like when you go to like a hospital, that orange stuff that they put on you before surgery.
The iodine?
Yeah, iodine. Every time I go to a hospital, I'm like I just like think I'm getting my ear tubes put in or getting my appendix taken out. I'm like, here we go.
Here we go. Rub me down, baby.
Rub me down. Put some of that orange stuff on me.
Oh man, this is something that reminded me of talking about high school. I don't want to say everyone can do their own math, but someone on Facebook reached out to me and said, "Hey, Jesse, we're approaching our high school reunion. Can you send me your address?"
No.
I want to say this. I do not currently keep up with anyone that I went to high school with. I wish them all well, but that was not the most defining moment of my life for me in terms of like friendships.
Yeah.
So I hope they're all doing well. I also did not have the most, like, it just wasn't the most memorable experience, I'm not gonna go. Is that bad?
No, it's not bad.
I didn't
go to any of mine.
I didn't go to my 10-year.
My whatever was during COVID. My first one was during COVID, so I didn't go, and I'm fine with that. I still see everybody on Facebook. I still have like random, which is weird, is like men from high school. Now they're men. They were boys apparently, but I know because we are Facebook friends. I see that we graduated the same year. I kind of remember your face. I don't think we ever had classes together. Hey, like in the inbox, and I'm like, this has been since we graduated that you're popping in saying, hey, how are you? Hey. I have to tell y'all a story right now. I've never done this on the pod. I just remembered this story.
Okay.
About a guy from high school who I did know, and I did see him after high school. Like, I was in college, so wasn't that long. So fresh out the gate, I still remembered him, right?
Right.
So all of a sudden, we're just matching. I needed to put my leg up. I needed to get back.
For the story. No,
for the
I want
story.
you to.
It's story time. So I get on Facebook one day and I have a message from this person. And they're like, hey, what's up? I don't respond. And then I run into them when I'm home from college and I see them. And so they're like, hey, good seeing you. I was like, you too. Hope you're well. Period.
Did you see them at that restaurant that you go to with Groot?
No.
Oh, okay.
Saw them at some place that I will never go again in my life. Actually, where our high school reunion took place. Which is hilarious. So he says something like, yeah, I'm good, just doing this, like offers information I didn't ask for, classic, and then like tries to continue the conversation. I don't engage. So that's where the communication stops, okay? For me, on my end. Like that was the last thing I said was like, yeah, good seeing you too, hope you're well. Period. Not question mark, hope you're well? Tell me more. That's it. That's all I want to know. I was cut.
Curtains.
Yeah. Fade to black. This man continues to, hey, like keep dropping in the old Facebook inbox. Anywho, some time goes by, like a year, and my friend group chat from high school, I still have my best friends from high school, we have a group chat, starts blowing up, and there's news articles. This man has been sent to prison.
Oh,
yes.
For what?
It was a crime. It wasn't,
it was a crime.
I was going to say it wasn't a violent crime. It was I don't want to say this person is.
It's fine.
Yeah.
We don't got to say it.
Yeah. It was a crime, but no one was hurt.
Was it like a white collar crime?
No.
I'm going to pretend he got caught up in some embezzlement and he
not quite.
He went to prison.
That would have been a cooler story. Anyway, I don't want to say what he did.
He robbed a car wash.
Something like that. But he did not hurt anyone. His intent was not, well, he hurt people emotionally. But anyway, he did a bad thing. He did something you go to prison for. So they're like, oh my gosh. I was like, oh my gosh, that's crazy. Like, that's horrible. We're all like, dang, we didn't expect that. Whatever. I get a message on Facebook, and it is from his profile, but it is from his cousin, of which I have never met, but knew me because went to high school with me, but was younger. But I didn't know them. And I don't know if they were saying like, hey, do you remember me? Like as if I met them. I'd never met this person, and I'm sure of it. They didn't look familiar. I did not meet them, but they were acting like they knew me. And they were like, hey, I'm Blank's cousin. I am reaching out because Blank is in prison. I don't know if you knew that. He's in prison, and he wants someone to write to, and he really wants to write to you. I hope you don't mind. I've printed off some of your pictures from Facebook, your most recent pictures, and I've given them to him. He loves them. Would you like to write to him? And I go, yeah, actually, I'm not in that ballgame. I did not have a boyfriend at the time, but I was like, I have a boyfriend. I don't think they would like that. It's not very kind. And so then he responds like a week later, and he's like, I spoke to him. He said that it's totally fine that you have a boyfriend. He's fine just communicating as friends. And if it develops into something later, that's fine too. And I was like, Managed not going to.
Did you not just shut that down? Were you not just like delete?
I see how it can be confusing because I have dated clowns, but I have not dated criminals. So I don't know. I do not know what this man was thinking. At this point, I go, I'm not interested. Because I'm trying to be nice to this person. Like his cousin's in the slammer. Like I don't know. Like, so anyway, I just say I'm not interested. It's not gonna happen. Capiche. What? Anyway, so then he keeps sending messages. I'm not replying. He was like,
the cousin does?
The cousin. It was like, hey, just reaching back out again. I'm sorry. I'm not trying to be annoying, but blank really wants to know if, like, you know, whatever. Years pass. Okay. This person is now out the slammer.
Oh God.
They've been released for good behavior.
Oh no.
I actually don't know why they were released. I don't know if their time was up or what. I know that they got sentenced to more years than that. So I'm assuming overcrowding or good behavior. So this person is released from the slammer, the clink. The clink. Our favorite. He messages me on the Facebook. I don't know why I haven't just blocked this account at this point. I don't know why. I don't know.
I'm like, how young were you?
Like, I mean, that was college. So that was, I guess, prison was post-college.
Haley now
so
would
like,
have put it into it way sooner.
Yes. Yeah. But like, I'm like looking back and I'm like, anyway. So he then messages me, and this is post-COVID. He has messaged me. Definitely. Like it is like maybe last year, maybe the year before. And he goes, hey, I just want to apologize. I just really thought we had a connection. And I was like, where was this connection?
From the one time you saw me after high school?
Yeah, I guess.
Did you respond to that or did you just let it lie?
No, well, because he said more. He was like, I thought we had a connection, blah, blah. I see you're in a relationship now. I just want to let you know that I'm here whenever.
My God.
Yes, I was just like, I didn't respond, obviously. But I was like, oh my God, this man had, I don't know.
He had a lot of time on his hands, and I
think he created something.
He did. Oh, for sure. He had so much time on his hands in the clink, and he had made up this false world where you guys were going to be together.
Yes. And like, sometimes it's scary when I talked about like the situations that I've had with like creeper people, because I'm like, you're so creepy that I believe you're listening to this podcast right now.
Maybe. And guess what? If you are, I'm absolutely insane. I'm crazy.
Also, welcome to the pod.
Welcome to the pod. But just know I'm nuts. I'm crazy.
Also, I'm crazy now.
I am like Liam Neeson style crazy.
Yes. After that time that I got doxxed, I don't mess around anymore. Yeah, I don't mess around anymore. There's this man who works at a local store near me. And he came up to me after, and I noticed he looked familiar, and he like looked at me like he knew me. But I was like, whatever.
Wait, he worked at the store? He worked at the store.
So I was like, maybe I've seen him here. Mm-hmm. Like I didn't think anything. Mm-hmm. And also I think low key, if you're a man and you're listening, don't be creepy. Like, don't stare at women. Also, we see you see us. We're actually very vigilant because we're worried we're going to get chop sueyed all the time. So we're seeing you. Anyway, that's just because you could be a nice person admiring someone for their snappy sweater, their snazzy shoes. I don't care what it is. Don't stare for too long. Look away. So this man, he comes up to me the next time I see him, and he was like, hey, like, I don't know if you remember me, but I was behind you in line at a Goodwill 2 months ago in Marietta. I don't live in Marietta, by the way. And I was like, okay, never going there again. Also, you remember me? And he was like, yeah, I saw you last time. I was like, I think I remember her from blank. I saw this man in Zara yesterday.
Weird.
And he like looked double taked. And he like looked at me as if like I was going to stop and say hi. I was like, nope, keep it moving. I'm so sorry, because I don't know if you're an angel. Like if God sent you to look over me and you're not actually here and you're just looking over me at all these places, or if you're a stalker.
Either or. I'm not interested in finding out. It is weird sometimes though how like random people you'll see them out and about and you don't know them.
Yeah.
But it creates this familiar vibe to them because you just see them often in the places that you go to.
Yeah.
And it is very weird.
And it's weird when you live in a bigger city like Atlanta because it's like, I mean, it's different when you're going to like a local grocer.
Also, why is this man always shopping?
I don't know.
Why does he like to shop as much as we do?
Why am I always shopping?
That's not a problem. Why is that a problem? I'll be shopping.
I don't know. Also, I don't know why I saw him and I kind of like looked past him. Like I clocked him and then I looked back to see like who he was with. I'm like, who are you here with? Because we were in a women's section. So it was like half of me, I sprinted out of that store after I saw him. And I was thinking two things. I was like, he's here with his daughter or his wife, or he saw me in the mall and followed me in here to say hi. And I zipped past him, which I didn't like that.
Yeah, I mean, there's lots of possibilities there.
Yeah.
Do you think that he was looking for a mutton busting outfit?
I think so. I think he was looking for some Eastleigh Chiefs.
He was looking for something.
The rodeo.
He was looking for something that had a good grip to it. So when he grabbed onto the sheep, it was like Velcro. He wasn't going nowhere. Do you think that they pat those children down to make sure they don't have anything on them that would help them give them an advantage?
Like magnets?
Or like Velcro? I'm going to call Pookie. I'm going to call Gwendolyn and Pookie. Honestly, is that a bad idea? Cheating, yes, but winning, no. That's not a bad idea.
I was about to say...
Could be. You never know with me.
Could be. I don't know. Could be a good idea.
I'm gonna bust my mutt. Gonna bust my mutt.
All the way down to the Elton Road.
I just can't stop thinking about it. I'm sorry.
Busting in the mud.
Yeah.
It's crazy. It's a crazy thing to think about. I wish I was a child and could do that. Actually, like if I had a chance to do something like that now, I wouldn't. Because I would get hurt.
Yeah, you'd get hurt. We fall. You just fell. I fall all the time. We already went over this. We can't be trusted.
No. Also, I'm healing up nicely, but it's embarrassing because I am an adult and I have a skinned knee. Do you know how embarrassing it is to be an adult with a skinned knee?
Has anyone stopped you and been
yes,
like,
they go,
Haley,
what happened? And I have to tell them, I be clums. I'm fergalicious. I'm clumsy.
He said, whoa, whoa.
That's me on the sheep. Mutton bus.
Have you guys seen Fergie when she does one-handed cartwheels?
On Good Morning America?
Yes. And every time she does one, I can't remember if it's midair or right after or before, but she goes, whoa.
No, she's doing it while she's doing it.
Okay, so it's simultaneously.
Wait.
No, you're right.
I think it's false.
Whoa.
I think that's what makes
and then she says
movement looks so.
And then she goes, whoa. Like she gets stuck.
Yeah. I'm putting the mic away.
Fergalicious.
Fergie, you're so funny for that.
What's she doing right now?
Being Fergalicious.
I know, but I wish she'd come back.
She's making those boys go
she
local.
Would be. This is ripe for her to come out with a single right now based on the fact that everyone we're like so back with the 2000s.
With the nostalgia, yeah.
Yeah, she needs to come back. Fergie, girl, come on.
Stacey.
Whoa.
What are you doing?
Great Pretenders. Remember her on Great Pretenders?
No, I don't know what that is. What is it?
The greatest singers.
Oh, okay.
And the greatest dancers.
Were they a group?
Pretenders. Yeah, she was on a TV show and the group was... Shoot. Doggone it, Haley. I'll think of it. She was in a girl group before she was in Black Eyed Peas.
I do remember knowing that about her lore.
Yeah.
I just didn't know what it was.
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah, that's it. I think that I need to ask you a question. Are you caught up on Severance?
Yes. I caught up 2 nights ago.
Okay.
I'm all caught up.
Were you violently mad about the short episode?
It didn't feel short. Are we talking about the one that mostly focused on Harmony Corbell?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, Corbell.
Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't feel short to me mostly because I was like, I understand that it was important to the plot to understand Harmony's backstory, but I was also like,
I know it was. I was glad the information I learned. I just like, Girl, you can't show me Gemma and then take her away like that.
No, also, I want to see more of Mr. Milchick. I love him. I love him.
Also, I've been listening to the pod. I went all the way back. So I'm going from episode 1 and going back. So I'm still in season 1 with the pod. And I've got to say, Adam Scott is like, you know what a dream team would be? Him and Jerry O'Connell in something. Or talking together. And you know that Adam Scott was hosting a game show before he got Severance?
I want to host a game show. What was it? Are they hired? Do they want me to do it? What was it?
I don't know. We need to look this up. But he talks about it on the pod. And when I hear this, it just gives me, first of all, like it just like makes me feel like I'm going to be okay as an actor. Like I'm going to be okay. Everything I do, it's going to lead to the next thing. I'm meeting the right people, whatever. It's hard. It's hard out here in these streets. Literally the other night I had a 12-page audition for a film, first pass. That means it's the first round of auditions. Girl, we already know you're not gonna watch, you're gonna look and watch 10, if I'm lucky, 10 seconds of this first scene, which is 2 minutes long. And you're going to decide right then and there if you're going to continue watching the other 3 scenes that I memorized, prepared, got a reader over here, and I had other auditions that night.
That's why you need to start every audition with the whoa. Just catch their attention. Yeah,
just get them
on the front
Confuse
end.
them a little bit.
Yeah, keep them on their toes.
Yeah, no, but seriously, it's a lot. So at that point, like your brain, after all these years, it's like, what am I doing this for? Anyway, Adam Scott says on the pod that bit of information, I think in like episode 1 or 2 of the podcast, that he says, I was hosting a literal game show before I got Severance. Also, every time they're talking, they break down scenes in this podcast and they talk about how it was made, what they were thinking, how it was written, what it felt like to shoot the scene, everything. Adam Scott never misses an opportunity to shout out every actor in that scene. Every actor. He will name them. He will say what they've done. He will say what it was like working with them. Even if they were like a little small part. Like they were talking about the episode where they are at the birthing cabins. That's not really a spoiler alert if you haven't watched yet. But they talk about the other woman that his sister, Devin, approaches and asks for coffee and then sees a few times in the episode. They talk about the midwife that's in 2 episodes and what it was like working with her and all the things. And they're like, oh, she's awesome. So talented. Like the way they shout out other actors who are like not, the main point of the episode or the main point of the story or what they're talking about in that scene just gives me so much hope. Yeah. And it says so much about Adam Scott and Ben Stiller that they never miss an opportunity to shout out the people who are like the reason for how something comes together. Even Ben Stiller, he'll talk about, they'll compliment him on a lighting choice that he made. And he was like, actually, I borrowed that lighting choice from blank, this director who did it in this film. And like, never misses, like never takes full credit, like, because this is all just like, all art is collaboration and working together. But I just think that's so cool.
I don't understand how somebody could not do that.
At this point in time, you kind of everybody's...
Not even at this point in time. I just mean like as a human being that works in a collaborative environment in any capacity, whether it's like anything, how could you not want to make sure everyone knows every single person that has put a hand into it and that has made it successful?
Well, I think it's easy when you're having a conversation about a scene and you're talking about... I don't mean like literally. I just mean in the standpoint of like, that's just common decency in terms of like, if you're a person and you have the opportunity to do that, I would hope that everyone would always make the choice to be like, let me make sure I shine the light on everyone that I can. I think it says something about your confidence.
Yeah.
Because I think the people who are not confident, I see that a lot in like local filmmakers or like independent work that I see in my film community. I see where like really kind, good people like forget to shout out the real ones, or forget to remember the real ones, who get caught up in like hiring people with like, oh, this person just did a guest star on this, so I'm gonna hire them even though I made you audition 80 times. Like I see that all the time, and it's like, well, I think you're doing that for the clout a little bit, like even though this clout is not real, like in my mind, but you forget those things when you're like grasping for someone to not recognize you, but to validate you.
Yeah.
And I think people who don't need that validation, like Ben Stiller and Adam Scott, they don't need to do that. But also, I don't think people who, I think everybody, to your point, I think everybody should do that.
It
is common decency. Shout out the real ones.
And also going back to the Severance episode really quickly.
I would love to.
I want to just say that I couldn't hear shit, and I need them to turn it up.
Wait, what?
They were all mumbling, and I need everyone to.
You couldn't hear it?
Everyone to turn up their enunciation and the volume. I could not hear anything. Mama made me mush my M&Ms. I couldn't hear shit, Haley, and I was like,
wonder if it's your TV though, because I could hear everything. And I'm hard of hearing.
I have a hard time hearing Harmony, Mrs. Cobell. I have a hard time. She talks like this.
Yes, she does.
And I thought she was just doing it for the actor. But if you look at the deleted scenes and the interviews, Patricia Arquette actually talks very like similar to this.
It reminds me of Severus Snape.
And I love her. She also looks like a goddess.
She's
does. So beautiful.
She's so beautiful and ethereal.
I think she looks like a little lumen nymph.
Lumen nymph is real.
Would love to see Adam Scott mutton bust. I'd like to see Miss Wong. Wait, what's her name?
Miss Wong.
Miss Wong mutton bust. She's below the age limit and the weight limit.
She could do it.
Miss Wong, I want you to mutton bust. Season 3 of Severance.
I also think she wants to. She's ready. She does. She's like, you're not going to let me play my dingle dongle? She was like, remember at the funeral? Yeah, she was like,
her special electronic harp, whatever that's called.
I don't know. They never said.
They do. It's called a metronome.
Yes.
Maybe not.
It was not a metronome, but it sounded like that. She was like, and she was like, so excited. I felt so bad for her. And Mr. Milchek was like, you can show me later. And she was like, I was like, she's going to kill you.
She doesn't like her and Mr. Milchek. There's a power struggle, and I think they need to mutton bust it out.
Yes.
I want Milchek on one. Maybe
he would love to.
And I want Miss Wong on the other.
Put on some of that defiant jazz.
Oh my God. That's what I want. More mutton busted in 2025, especially in season 3 of Severance.
I think at our live show, we should bust a mutt.
How about I'll put on a puffer jacket and you get on my back.
That's hilarious.
We've done weirder things.
We have.
Is there anything else that you'd like to add?
I'm sure once we yell cut, I will think of 8. Something. I always do that.
This one?
I do have one thing to say.
Okay.
And this was a question I have. So do you feel like, and this is for the ladies in the room, when you're watching makeup tutorials, because I know you do, rather it be on Instagram, TikTok, or YouTube, do you go against the grain? Like even like when I have my makeup done by makeup artists on set, I'm like, I wouldn't do it that way. Not in the sense where I'm like, you're doing it wrong, but in the sense when I come home, I'm not going to do it the right way, quote unquote, the way you're doing it. For example, contour stick. Mm-hmm. They say you're supposed to get it on your brush and then do it. Sorry, I don't get the color I need. I don't get the color I need when I do that. I need to just draw it on the fotch.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's one thing that I do that is like, you're not supposed to do that.
I think that that's bullshit. I think that you can use makeup in whatever way you want to do it. I think if you want to put on a brush and put it on your face, it'll give you a different look than if you just directly put it on your face. I think that I love a makeup tutorial. One thing I don't like about people who do them is when they say this is Bible. This is the way that you have to do it. No. And there's one makeup artist I've talked about before that I love, Katie Jane Hughes. Mm-hmm. She's so cool. She kind of shows you how to use products in different ways. She uses them in unconventional ways. And I think everyone should do the makeup the way they want to do their own dang makeup and stop letting people tell you this is the only appropriate way to use products.
Yeah.
Use the products however you want. If you want to use a cheek product on your on your
eye?
anywhere, use it. If you want to put mascara on your eyebrows, do it. If it works for you,
it's
do
for
it.
You.
It's all gloppity gloop on your face. So gloopity on it.
Gloopity glop.
I
Don't
also
stop till you glop
think that if you want to like a softer, more natural makeup look, put it on your brush first. If you want
to. Here's the thing. When I put it on my brush, you don't see it at all. And I think maybe it's because my color is so light.
Also, everyone's skin absorbs makeup differently. If your skin is very dry, and also sometimes if your skin is very, if your skin is not absorbent to makeup, it might be too much for you to put the product right on your face. If you have skin like mine,
I'm oily.
My skin
get out.
Sucks the makeup up. So I need to put on a little bit more. Also, I like to wear more. I like for you to tell that I have makeup on.
Yeah.
I like for you to say, you know what? I see that shit you put on your face.
You did a good job.
Thanks for taking an extra 20 to do that.
Poppin'.
Right, exactly.
Eyebrows on fleek. So that's how I feel about that. I've just been thinking about that because I'm like, you can't see it. You can't see it on my face. I can't see it. That's the problem. Why am I putting it on why did I pay however much this little Westman Atelier contour stick costs? Why'd I pay that if I ain't seeing it?
Oh, I know. Take yourself to the Clinique counter, get what you need, and do what you want to do with it.
Do what you want to do.
And with that, please rate, review, subscribe. Please, if you are not following us on Spotify and YouTube, subscribe. Please do that. Please, 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 please.
No, it would mean a lot for you to subscribe.
We are almost to a milestone on YouTube and on Spotify specifically, but please, wherever you get your podcasts, holler at us there. Please subscribe. Please, please. That would mean so very much.
It's totally free. That's
also,
my
follow
thing.
Haley and I on Instagram.
Yeah,
individually.
And personality.
And personality hair, please. That would be awesome. And
message us funny stuff.
Please.
I love that.
Hop in. Be weird. We can't be weird alone.
Not too weird, especially if you're a man.
If you're for me, you can be extra weird. I like it. Let's just see what we get.
Not men.
Well, unless you're nice. Unless you're nice and you like us for what we're putting out there.
I just mean don't be weird. Like creepy weird.
And with that, rate, review, subscribe, and we will see you
next. Okay.
Next Thursday.
I love when she does that. Janine, take us home, sis.